You're watching BCTV. We're all about Branford. You're watching BCTV, Branford Government Television, a service of Branford Community Television. This program is brought to you in part through the support of the town of Branford.
We'll call this meeting of the Branford Planning and Zoning Commission to order. This is a special meeting. It's Thursday, December 12th, 2019. There are no public hearings, and we have one item on the agenda. I will introduce members of the commission and staff. To my far right, we have Commission Member John Lust. Next to John, Commission Member Joe Chadwick. Next to Joe, and turning the corner, is Fred Russo. Our staff this evening is our planner, Harry Smith, and our clerk recording secretary, Michelle Martin. I am Chuck Anders, chair. Our one item we have of old business is 339 West Main Street, the special exception for the installation of a parking lot. And we had a public hearing that extended over 2 evenings that we closed at our meeting on December 5th. And to allow staff time to come up with a resolution. And Harry, I understand that you have prepared and distributed to us proposed conditions for this. Is that something you can review with us?
Absolutely. Just to recap a little bit, at the end of the public hearing, Jim Peretti, the applicant's engineer, provided for the file a draft easement agreement which would cover the rights of pass and repass across the corner property for 339 West Main, that one property that's subject to this application, as well as the rights to drain from 339 across into 333. We had not had a chance to have this reviewed by town council, but as you'll see in a moment, I've suggested a condition that would provide for that. So that base has been addressed. Of course, I think I reported this at the public hearing. We have in the wetlands permits, we have a copy of that in the file, so we have the report that's required by state law. I've also proposed 2 findings. As you'll probably recall, the lot is proposed to be processed stone and not asphalt. The regulations require the commission to find that the use is a low traffic generator and that acceptable maintenance provisions have been provided. So finding number 1 would suggest that. Actually, it would be a statement to that effect. The exact maintenance provisions would need to be followed. I mean, they're fairly straightforward, but I think that could be a condition of approval, so that is suggested later on. Finding 2 is just a standard finding regarding compliance with the criteria for issuance of a special exception. And a statement that you're issuing essentially 2, one under the use table for this use, which is special exception use, and one under section 6.8, which is for grading and earth alteration. So the conditions, usually we make them contingent upon the issuance of a zoning permit or a building permit. That one is not needed in this case, so they're contingent upon the start of construction. I'll just run through them quickly. 1A would require limited disturbance. A lot of this property is not going to be constructed upon as part of this application. So that just to keep contractors in the proper location, suggesting that there be a limited disturbance identified in the plan and that there be orange construction fencing installed along that limited disturbance. So when someone's in the field, they know that's the end of where they should be. As well as a statement that there be a note that the contractor is notified as being responsible for undertaking the work in compliance with section 6.8 of the zoning regulations, which requires how they remove topsoil and stockpile it and so forth. 1B would deal with the proposed easement agreement, that would need to be filed on the land records. We will ship that off as soon as possible to the town council for review. I did not get to that last week. 1C would require typical installation of sedimentation erosion control measures. 1D is the installation of the orange construction fence along the limited disturbance line I talked about. E would require a maintenance plan for the processed stone parking lot. So all these would need to be in place before construction started. During the public hearing, it was stated that vehicles will be brought on and off-site individually, so that's reflected in proposed condition 2. Number 3 is standard condition about no additional signage or new replacement lighting without a proper approval. 4 would allow the zoning officer, if it's necessary, to require any necessary measures to control dust generated by earth movement or fill. 5 is a standard condition about landscaping that needs to be maintained as an ongoing requirement of the approval. 6 would state what's already in the regulations. That's a special exception approval under section 6.8 only. Expires 1 year after the date of approval. I understand they want to get going fairly quickly, so that shouldn't be an issue. And then condition 7 is a provision in section 6.8 allows the commission to establish construction hours. Staff is proposing 7 to 5. I just left blanks there, so we could change that if the commission desired to. I did not.
7 to 5 weekdays and Saturdays, or?
Yes,
Okay. Okay.
and that is it.
Great, thanks, Harry. Any questions or thoughts from any of the members? I think appears to conform with the regulations. I didn't hear any public comment in opposition. I think the Economic Development Commission spoke in favor of it, so looks good. Okay. Great, then does someone want to make a motion to approve the application with the findings and conditions set forth in the staff report? And again, the hours of operations would be 7 to 5, both Monday through Friday and on Saturdays.
So moved.
Motion made by Joe, is there a second? Second by John. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. So application is approved, and that is the sole item on our agenda. Someone want to make a motion to adjourn?
Yes, I'll make that motion.
Fred makes a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by John. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Great. Well, thank you, everyone.
This program was brought to you in part through the support of the Town of Branford. Watch town meetings and other videos on demand at BranfordTV.org.